Going on, everyone? This is Eric, and we're going to be going over the Spooky Nook tournament from this past weekend. We're going to catch up on the statistics from that event and also take a look at the season-long stuff. This is sort of, I guess, the unofficial break between the spring and the summer tournaments. I wasn't sure whether you're going to play this weekend over at Gym Rats. I think that you're not, but if you are, then ignore this part. But this is the time where we take a look at how we're doing now, and then you get this big push in July for those last couple of tournaments during the live period then. And in addition to that, I'll just remind you that on June the 2nd, we're doing a full Huddle tutorial with Huddle, where they can show you different ways to make use of the product, either from highlights or recruiting or just for fun. I'll be sending you guys emails all about that. And I just still find it interesting that I'm now actually starting to direct these videos just as much to the players and parents as to the coaches. It was originally designed just for the coaches, and I still prefer that approach because what I say to the coaches is a better chance of filtering down to the players than me telling the players directly. And also, this kind of side business that I haven't still developed yet is actually helping coaches with their analytics and how to do this. In any case, I don't particularly enjoy, from a coach and a fan perspective, these tournaments where there's no winner. When you have these four showcase games, and technically you're playing in a pool or whatever. But I like the formats where you actually come out, a winner at the end with a T-shirt, a trophy. I don't know. I think that's kind of healthy. Hopefully, one of the tournaments in July has that more of that dynamic, because I think you guys are honestly right there with respect to winning these things. I mean, you guys went 3-1 in this thing, and quite honestly, I really don't have any idea how you lost that game that you lost. I mean, we're going to get into it, but even that global squad game, I mean, you lost by 20. Every other game they played in this tournament, that team lost by 20. So I don't exactly quite get that. I'm not the slightest bit surprised that you won the other three games, including the Middlesex Magic game. That's kind of like the unspoken rivals of you guys every year. You both kind of run a similar, very well done program, between Crown and Middlesex Magic. And, I think, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you both really do it the right way. And you have the same kind of players, you don't have these big, 6'11", top five guys that can just call the shots and do whatever. You all have very, very good players. You're all very, very well coached, and your games are always right down to the wire, it seems. And these are always good games to watch because both coaches really, really do a good job. And I'm not going to get too into the end of the game stuff, but needless to say, both coaches coached their ass off in this game. And you guys, listen, you guys came out on top by one. I guess in this one, they could have won by one another time. You guys always have really, really strong games. Hopefully when I come in July, and I will be coming in July to one of the tournaments, we get to play teams like this again. Nonetheless, we're going to take a look at these games from a statistical perspective, and we'll get right into it. Sorry for that long introduction. By the way, you'll also see there's another video on the screen on the channel that doesn't look like it has anything to do with your team. I encourage you guys to check it out. Well, maybe I shouldn't encourage you guys to check it out. You'll see it. It's kind of a different looking video within the channel. Curious to know what you guys think of it. In any case, in no particular order, I guess, let's try to remember what this order was. Did you guys lose the first game against Global Squad? No, I think you played full court Philly in the first game, so let's get into that. So again, just to remember what we're looking for here, we're looking for effective field goal percentage of 55% or higher, turnover rate 15% or lower, and offensive rebound percentage 30% or higher. And again, just to remind everybody, these numbers are not just made up. This is based on pretty in-depth research by me regarding what's needed for you guys, for teams like yours, to win tournaments like these against teams like this, okay, that you're going to be playing in. So 55% effective field goal percentage, you were fine there, 58%. Your turnover rate was a little high, and this is something that you Unfortunately, lack of practice is a pretty decent indicator that this number is not going to be as strong as it could be. Okay, you don't get to run as much on scheme, you don't get to play as much, practice as much together, and those types of things usually translate into higher turnover rate than they could be. So, not to say it's an excuse. There's no excuses in anything, but uh, turnover rate of 20% just is really not that great. And unfortunately, this is predictive sometimes of future games where you won't be able to get away with this. 40% offensive rebound percent is excellent. Okay, so overall, very, 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 very nice, with the exception of the turnover rate, which I always have to look at as kind of a weird red flag. All right, shot selection. Again, what I'm looking for are for less than 10% of shots that come from this mid range. So that would be 7 out of 54. So it's not the best. But as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, Huddle has been extraordinarily stringent about its definition of these mid range shots. So you can probably click through here and look through these and see what if these are actually bad shots. That one I actually don't like at all, Brandon. And I've been telling you this for 3 years now. Yeah, this one is legit no good. This pull up from here is not good at all. But sometimes they're actually not bad. Let's see. Let's see this one. This one, yeah, that's tough, Isaiah. We'll take with this one. This one, Brandon. Ooh, oh wow. So this is how good of a pass this was, Brandon. This was such a good move that they characterized that as a pass. Dude, this is really strong. Let's look at this again. Wow, that's great. This is a great clip. I really want you to look at this clip. See, when you do your recruiting stuff, like I don't know which ones you pick for to do whatever. Dude, I could Brandon V, I could watch this one literally all day. I mean, as a coach, that is so skillful. All right, we're only gonna watch one more time. Because Brad, I've gotten after you in a couple of other instances this year, but that's really, really good stuff. Okay. Um, all right. Against FCP. Okay, so that was the shot selection. The individuals, let's take a look. Overall, very, very strong. Brandon, 3 for 4 from three. So what are you doing shooting that mid-range shot? Uh, Brandon V, 1 for 1 for 3. Nice game overall. 5 deflections, 2 steals, 1 turnover. Let's go. That's what we want. Justin, did what you did. You're just a little bit off. 1 for 3 is nothing wrong with that. Isaiah, 1 for 3, nothing wrong with that. Um, Josh, 0 for 1. Lorenzo, 4 shots. So this is pretty much what I'm expecting. And then, of course, 20% turnover rate. We could always look to the spins for his fair share of turnovers. So what would a day be without looking at some? Oh, look at that. What would a day be when looking at some of the spins turnovers? And again, you know, that's actually not too bad. Some of these, listen, it's in the name of try. Whoa, see this one? Yeah, just don't dribble off your foot. These whip passes, they're so close to being like savant like awesome. Just a little bit off. Overall, pretty nice game. Turnovers could probably do without though. All right, let's go back to the next game, which was the loss against Global Squad. You know, I was wondering what this is all about here when I saw this loss, and it's just all of it. Like 40% effective field goal percentage. That's certainly not going to work, not even by a long shot. And then 26% turnover rate. I mean, and 26% offensive rebound percentage. So if you fail in all three categories, I promise you're losing. I mean, it's just not possible. especially against anybody decent. So, I mean, this is a dud. And I asked Chris about this. I said, Chris, what happened this game? He says, we played the worst game we played. And you know what? I didn't even need to hear that because I see it. These numbers don't lie here. You lost in all three main categories. Let's take a look at the shot chart and see if we can't figure out the cause of all this was, or maybe it was just variance. I mean, let's just see. Uh, well, you tell me, guys. 6, 7, 8 bad twos out of 40. I mean, I, as they sometimes say in the Twitter sphere, posted without comments. You know, and when you look through here, again, we could click through and check these out. Coaches, you can do that, but this type of shot behavior just comes back to bite you. Something it just does. So I'm never going to give up trying to get you guys to get that perfect shot chart. Anyway, let's look at the box score for Global Squad. Who did anything here? Yeah, Justin was 2 for 5 from three. Isaiah, not great. Um, you didn't get a lot of shots off. You wonder why you didn't get a lot of shots off? Anyone? Because you had a million turnovers. It's hard to get shots off when you turn the ball over. That's the bottom line here. And we get 5 turnovers from Isaiah and 5 for Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Hey, you know what? Let's see what these look like. Okay, there's one. Actually, don't even mind that. I mean, it's an attempt to do something good. I don't know what this is. That's a turnover. What is it? Oh, for travel? Let's see this one again. Hold on a minute. I guess. Oh, it's a push off. That's what you gave you for this. Let's see this. Guy's like 100 feet tall. Oh no. You know what I think this was? He's like the only guy. Oh, you did push one. The only guy in the court smaller than you. So they gave him a break. Let's see this. Here you go, Brandon. Ah, that's sort of unlucky. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't see that one. They gave that to you, but fortune. Oh my God, that's pretty brutal. I didn't see what happened, but I know what happened. So you just inbound and then he postered you. Okay, well that happens, dude. Wow. All right, that's awesome. All right, no problem. No problem. We'll forget about that game. Actually, you know what, Isaiah? You've been playing so well all year. It's like 2 bad games in a row, and you got 5 turnovers. We're going to have to take a look at this. You want to know why? Because also, you're messing with me by changing your uniform number. Didn't think I'd catch it, did you? Well, this is what happens. No, it's the uniform. It's the changing uniform number jinx. Ooh, pickpocketed by that dude. Yeah, so this game, I'm just gonna legitimately throw into the track. Well, what is this? They don't call this ever. Let's see. Oh, ooh, I see this coming. Yep, totally saw that coming. That's rough. I want to watch this again. Oh man, I hate to laugh at this, but it's like the guy actually knew what was going to happen, and nobody cared. Wow. I want to see Chris's look. No, I couldn't get Chris's look on that one. All right. All right. This game will be thrown away, but I want you to learn from it. All right. Let's go on to last 2 games. Let's do the Middlesex Magic game. Let's see statistically how that looked. Let's see. Ooh, you can get the unknowns. I think we did. I think maybe just from the other team we didn't get any. Yeah, there's a couple. Okay. So stats from Middlesex Magic. I imagine be right in there. Yeah, that's what I figured. So yeah, so 59% off, effective field goal percentage, more than enough. And it barely was enough to offset, kind of a turnover rate, which is a little high, you know. So you could have won by more. That's one way to look at it. But you may have been able to, you might have not shot as well. So this is a pretty standard good performance, actually, which leads to a very standard close win over a very, very good team, or what's typically a very, very good team. Let's look at them, by the way. Let's look at the opponents. Wow. So here, okay. So here's something else. So how do you almost lose a game when they shoot 42% effective field goal percentage? Well, two things. One, 16% turnover rate, and one is 19. And then, so what's the deal? How come they didn't get any rebounds? They couldn't make a shot. How were you close? How did you not blow them out? This number, 19 of 24 from the line. So they either had the karate refs, which I doubt. I don't even know if it's still karate, by the way. Um, or they were really taking it to the rack. You'll have to remember that what ended up happening there. We'll take a look at the shot chart versus Middlesex Magic. And one, two, three, four, five. So it's within 10%. So shot selection was pretty good. Like, let's look at the box score. What do we got? Brandon, 2 for 4. Very nice. Justin, 3 for 4. Isaiah, another kind of tough shooting day. Brandon V, 6 turnovers, though. Check them out. Hmm. What is that? I don't even know what this is. They give an offensive foul for that. Oh, you know what, Brand? That's not nice. That's a weak call, Mr. Ref. Yeah, that was no good. Ooh, you're just not quite strong enough to be able to get away with that, Brandon, against these types of players. Okay, so I cursed you here by highlighting that one play. Too many turnovers, B. Okay. Uh, let's go on to the last game, the PSB game. Weak team. You can get away with it, but so effective field goal percentage was not great. Offensive rebound percentage was fine, but you took complete care of the ball. Okay, so and by the way, 10 of 11 from the line, very strong. So overall, I mean, weak team, but took care of the ball, didn't give them a chance, which is perfect. Look at the shot. Now I can retire. It took me how long? The 17s to get you a perfect shot chart. How long? I found one from the 16s last year, one from the 16s this year. I, there's a tear. I mean, can you see that? There's literally a tear in my eye. You will never lose a game. I'm, you will almost never lose a game with a shot chart that looks like this. And if you do lose a game, I promise you that you will put yourself in the best possibility, the best chance of winning. I, you know, we talk about how people can thank me for doing this. Players, this is what you could do. And coaches, this is what you could do to give me this perfect shot chart. Let's look at the box score. Box score. Not that many turnovers. Very nice. Justin 1 for 7 from three, but you took the right shots. Isaiah again got to start struggling from three there in this whole tournament. Got to the rim though decently enough. So listen, not the greatest shooting performance in the world, but you kept control of the ball. Gave me a perfect shot chart. Brandon 6 steals, very nice. Listen to me. You give me 6 steals, 4 deflections, then I'll let you have your 3 turnovers. That's not a problem. Okay, for the season, let's take a look at how you guys are doing first as a team, and then for the whole season. So we're at 23 games. We're getting there. This is remember you guys play almost a full college type schedule. Getting 30, 35 games almost. So this is a decent sample. So your effective field goal percentage overall is right exactly where you need to be. Your offensive rebound percentage, just exactly where it needs to be. Turnover rate, just a little high. That's all. That's one of the things, but that's the big thing you need to deal with. Okay. You've shown me that you can take good shots. Okay. Show me you can take care of the ball, and you'll be competing for t-shirts, so to speak, or trophies, or whatever it is in these tournaments. And you want to talk about competing for scholarships and crap like that. Again, that to me is I have no interest in that whole part of this process. Like the college stuff, that's of zero interest to me. The only thing that's of interest to me is the basketball piece. And in any case, very, very nice. Shot chart for the season, that's always fun to look at. So what I like to do is just kind of count all these. So 28, 65, 95, 105, 113, 127. So you're a little bit ahead of where I want you to be. I mean, in other words, I'd like you to shoot a little less of these bad twos, obviously. Let's take a look at the stats. Now, again, individually, does anybody remember even what I'm hoping for, what I'm rooting for you guys? So again, as an individual, if you need to get 55% effective field goal percentage as a team, you could one goal I give you guys is 55% effective field goal percentage as a player, and or breaking it down between twos and threes in this way. So if you can either get yourself 55% from two or 38% from three, then you're tracking and you're really contributing offensively. So let's see who's doing that. So first, from two, who's above 55% from two? Brandon Arnold and Brandon Varla. Okay, very, very nice. Justin, right on the cusp. Isaiah, right on the cusp. I really would love for you to get up here. Just another couple of shots. 3-pointers, who's above 38% from three? Well, Brandon's still having an just insane year, 46% from three. Justin, right where he's supposed to be, 43%. Spins, not close. Isaiah, I don't particularly like from a coaching perspective or from a team perspective someone who is the fourth best percentage shooting the most threes on the team. But again, you guys are doing this. I'm not coaching the team and whatever it is. I'm not telling you not to shoot them either. I would just prefer that Brandon and Justin have more. That's all. And the rest of you are struggling. So another couple of things to note is that you guys are pretty decent from the line, except Malik, 14 for 30 from the line. That's no good. Brandon Arnold, excellent. Brandon V, excellent. That certainly helps. The turnovers again, Brandon. I mean, you got to work on this, but at least you have a lot of deflections and steals. Okay. 56 turnovers, not great. I mean, to say the least. But this is a big, big number, the deflections and steals. So great job with that. Okay, that's pretty much all I have. You guys are doing just a great, great job. I look forward to seeing you continue to develop and push for a big July. I really hope you guys can get back to practice. I'd love to show up for a practice and show you a couple of things and talk to you guys. June 2nd, again, is the huddle tutorial. You should all be there, parents and coaches. Parents, well, coaches for parents and players. That's pretty much all I have. Great job.